Welcome to the Forgotten ECE, the show where before and after school educators, summer camp and PD staff and CYWs have a place where they are seen, heard, and valued. I'm your host, Jamie Wegler, and I am so excited you're here. Hello, it's me, Jamie, and welcome back to the Forgotten ECE. I am so happy that you're here. Today, I want to talk to you about something. I can't talk, though. I want to talk to you about something that happens in every before and after school program. Every single day, but rarely gets the professional respect it deserves. Hard to believe. It's not curriculum planning or licensing or pedagogy. It's that 3-minute conversation we have with families at pickup. That tiny window of time between finding backpacks and saying goodbye carries more weight than most people realize. It's when relationships are built, trust is strengthened, and professionalism is revealed. And yet, it's also one of the most emotionally demanding parts of our role, and the easiest to not contribute to. Join me today in before and after care or school-age care. We often get the edges of a family's day, early mornings and late afternoons, where the first hello and the last goodbye. And a lot of people will fall back on the idea that we don't have time or the families don't have time to talk to us. But that 3-minute window at pickup is the only daily face-to-face connection we might have with a parent or guardian. And according to How Does Learning Happen, for those of you not in Ontario, that is our foundational framework for early childhood education, or Ontario's pedagogy. And the CECE Code of Ethics, which is our code of ethics that are standards of practice from the College of Early Childhood Educators. Our partnerships with families are reciprocal, built on mutual trust, respect, and open communication. Pickup is where that theory lives and breathes. And if you really think about it, families don't always get to talk to the teacher. And if they're in before and after school care, you are darn tootin' they are not talking to the teacher. So this might be their only face-to-face contact, communication that they have all day about their child's day. They rely on you for that information. It's where parents or guardians subconsciously assess, does my child feel safe here? Does this educator truly know my child? Am I a part of this community, or am I just a customer? And the answer often comes not from what we say, but how we show up. Our tone, our presence, our professionalism. Are we making the time to talk to these families? Are we getting up from the table or the floor to have a conversation with them? Are we inviting them into the room or the gym or the hallway or the library or the playground to open that mode of communication with them? By the time pickup rolls around, most of us have already given everything we've got. We've managed transitions. We've resolved conflicts. We've documented incidents and supported co-regulation, as well as filled out the attendance. Don't forget the health check. All while keeping kids engaged and safe. So when that door opens and 10 parents walk in at once, the expectation that we'll be warm, present, and articulate just isn't realistic. It's actually emotional labor. And emotional labor, as described by sociologist Arlie Hochschild, is the effort, sorry if I botched his name, is the effort it takes to manage one's feelings to meet the emotional expectation of a role. In childcare, it's a daily reality. We don't just perform tasks, we perform care. And that means regulating our own emotions while holding space for others. At pickup, emotional labor sounds like calming a stressed parent while staying grounded yourself. Sharing feedback about a challenging day without triggering guilt. Being kind when you're running on fumes. Holding space for these families because their day could have contained a whole lot of other emotional baggage that we don't know about. That's professionalism. Invisible, relational, and absolutely vital. Families rarely remember every detail we share, but they always remember the feeling we leave them with. When we say, they had a wonderful time helping with the art project today, what they hear is, you can trust that your child is valued here. When we say, ooh, there was a hard moment, but we worked through it beautifully, they hear, you see my child as capable. And even a quick, They were full of energy today. Can tell a parent, I notice your child. I'm tuned in and I care. That's what how does learning happen means when it talks about belonging and engagement. It's not just about children. Families need to feel that they belong too. And sometimes that gets forgotten when we're in before and after school care. Pickup is often the only space that we can prove that. I want to touch on hard conversations in this episode because sometimes pickup is where we have to deliver this tough news. A behavior concern, a conflict, or an injury report. In those moments, it's easy to slip into compliance mode. You can't tell, but I'm actually doing air quotes, compliance mode. Get the message across, get the signature, move on. But that approach can unintentionally create defensiveness or shame. That approach can unintentionally create defensiveness or shame. Instead, we can use a trauma-informed and relationship-based lens. 1, lead with care. I want to share something that came up today because I know how much you value open communication. At the same time, be factual and not emotional. During outdoor play, Jamie had a disagreement with a peer. We worked through it and both kids ended the day and the situation calmly. And then end with reassurance. Jamie showed great self-control in how they resolved it. I was really proud of them. The goal isn't to avoid hard truths. It's to deliver them in a way that builds partnership, not power imbalance. So I just want to go over that again. Lead with care, be factual, not emotional, and end with reassurance. These 3-minute exchanges are so important. And I just picked 3 minutes because really 3 minutes is the perfect amount of time. I also thought that I could give you some ideas or practical tips for professional presence in this pickup zone of time. Professional strategies that elevate those exchanges. So the first is prepare before the door opens. Take a breath. Did you hear me? I just did it. For a few quick notes and choose one meaningful positive thing to share about each child. 2, use professional language. Replace "they were wild today" with "there was lots of energy and we needed a few extra reminders about safe play." This communicates skill, not frustration. It is not a disservice that the children are giving us if they're busy or quote unquote wild. Then 3, protect confidentiality. Pickup can be noisy, but our tone and our phrasing should never expose another child's story. We are not talking to Jamie's parent and saying, Jamie was awful today in front of Ryan's parent and in front of Raylan's parent. I mean, you would never say that anyways, but you don't want this confidentiality to be exposed. 4, acknowledge the parent's humanity or the caregiver's humanity. You look like it's been a day goes a long way towards empathy and connection. Or how was your day? I would love to hear about it. How was work? Oh, I heard you had a meeting today. How did that go? And then 5, reflect after they leave. What worked? What didn't? Because if you've listened to other episodes, I'm a huge believer in reflective practice, and this turns daily chaos into professional growth, and it'll help you understand how you can approach a similar subject or this parent the next day. All in all, family engagement isn't an add-on because families are seen as partners. Families are partners, not just as seen as. They are literal partners in our practice. It's one of the foundations of quality care. Every meaningful exchange builds trust. Every calm, respectful pickup creates psychological safety for families and for educators. And when families trust us, they share more. They collaborate more. They advocate with us instead of against us. And that's how we shift the culture of before and after school care from being the extra part of a child's day to being the essential bridge of a child's day. So tonight or today or this afternoon or whenever you're listening to this, when the rush begins and the door swings open, take a breath. See that there is a human standing in front of you, a family member who's probably had their own chaotic day. And remember that in those 3 minutes, you hold the power to reinforce belonging, professionalism, and community. Because those moments, quick as they are, defined our field. They show the world that school-age educators are not just caregivers. We are communicators, we are connectors, and we are leaders. Thank you so much for joining me today in this episode If this episode made you rethink those everyday pickup moments, share it with your team or your supervisor, because the work you're doing, those 3-minute connections that hold families together, that's not small work. That's the heart of it. This is a 1 of 2-part series, so look out next week for the second part. And until next time, keep showing up, keep growing, and remember, you are not forgotten. Thank you, amazing listeners, for your support. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at MissJamie_RECE. Give a star rating and leave a review. Have something you want to hear about in relation to before and after school programs or full day summer camp? DM me or comment. Again, thank you so much and happy learning.